Dang it, friends. All the time, always, I forget to turn on my microphone first. I'm sorry about that. Let me pull this a little closer too. But as I was saying, hello friends! I'm so glad you could make it for this stream. We're going to be drawing Josh again, but the exciting thing, here's the reference real fast, is that I'm going to be teaching a portraiture class on Monday about graphite portraits, which I am drawing right now, and I've drawn a few times for those of you who do know about that. So yeah, it's exciting. So I'm going to be taking breaks periodically to go down and scan my artwork at a different computer that has a scanner attached to it. And so there'll be an intermission screen, which is exciting, but not yet. But there is a new donation leaderboard that Josh drew for me, so it actually looks good rather than like, oh, there's no information, there's just names and numbers. But this is the last stream that I'm streaming before next month. So right now, the two leaders are Cameron Christensen and Detective Pack, which means that you could get a free donation for donating $6 right now, or $10, or whatever. Like, there's very few people that are on the donation leaderboard right now. So yeah. So if you feel like donating to get an awesome commission, like a graphite portrait is what we were doing before, then go ahead and do that. Good, I clicked on the right scene. Some of Josh's old scenes are still on this OBS software, so I was like, oh, which one is mine for a second there, but no biggie. And I just got a text, so I'm going to check it real fast like a rude person. My sister is texting me. And I always reply to texts from my sister because she's very important to my heart. Alright, so we're just going to get right to it and start drawing. My pencils and like my graphite portrait stuff is actually in this little bag right now, which needs to end soon because A, there was a hole in it that I just pulled that pencil out of, and B, I'm sure it's a little bit annoying to hear the wrapping paper. So, here we go. I'm just going with the reference here. And this first step that I use to do a graphite portrait, 3, 4, 5, is to just do a really quick sketchy outline. And it doesn't even really have to be too accurate, just to get something on the paper and to get stuff started, which is what I'm doing right now. I decided to try and use Photoshop because I edit the references in Photoshop before I do anything else. And I was thinking Photoshop has an easier way to trailing off here like a champion of talking. Photoshop has an easier way to zoom in and out, and you can kind of control the finite of it a little bit better than you could on the media viewer that I was using to just look at the pictures after the fact. But it didn't occur to me that I'd need to use the screen, or not the screen, the keyboard, which is just up here, rather than my mouse, which is discrete and over on this side. So maybe I will switch that over very soon here. And like I said, this is a very sketchy sort of outline. I'm going to block it in more accurately and check proportions in a bit. I use the grid method, which is why there's a grid here. Usually I do this in my non-photo blue pencil, so you can't even really tell that it's there on camera. But because this is a a tutorial, I wanted to make sure that the grid showed up. And also, most of my students will not have a non-photo blue pencil, and I don't want them to feel like that's something that they have to get. It's just something that I like having, So here we are. Fast outline here, friends. Blocky sort of outline. Just trying to go fast. So as not to get caught up so much in everything. Josh has a pretty glorious beard, especially in this picture. I really like it when Josh's beard gets a little bit long and shaggy, but he is more of a neat and trim kind of person. So we have this pretend ritual where I am sad when he shaves his beard, and then he does it anyways. Or like trims his beard, because he doesn't actually shave his beard, because he does not look good without a beard, and that is something that we both agree on. But it's all in good fun. Like, it's just a running joke that we have, that I try to convince him not to shave his beard or trim his beard. And this is up higher, actually. So yeah, that was a very poorly told story of Josh's beard and how I like it. Come back next time for more poorly told stories about other things. And like I said, fast sketch here, friends. I actually didn't tweet out that I was streaming right now, so hopefully some people show up eventually. But it's no biggie. There's some teeth in this. One of the fun things about drawing Josh is the fact that his mustache covers a lot of the upper lip. So it's always kind of like, what am I drawing here? But it's no biggie. Oh hey, this is too far up. That's the nice thing about the grid, is that you have a built-in handy reference for where things go. And that's why I use it particularly when trying to do accurate pictures. Because it's very easy to get halfway into a drawing and realize like the nose is like an inch too long compared to everything else. And then with the grid, you catch that faster. So that's why I like it. What I really like about this picture, well, I like this picture because it's a nice picture of my husband, but if you notice, his hair has a lot of dimension and texture in it, especially for having been just pulled back. And hair is definitely one of the things that I want to talk about in my class. So his hair is interesting, and there'll be texture and there'll be things to talk about with his hair that I've done, even though it's just pulled back. Just blocking in the eyes real fast. Alright.
Love you.
Love you too. Actually, it goes further down here. That was my husband, by the way, for people who don't know me. And it's the person I'm drawing right now. So now I'm just kind of going sketchily over areas that don't look quite right. The benefit of doing this is that by going over it and going over it and going over it, you get closer to an accurate form. Like if you try and draw just a circle, it's not going to go as well, particularly if you erase and try again and erase and try again. But if you like go over and over and over and over and over it, just making tiny adjustments and doing it very lightly, you'll end up with a perfect circle that you can block out the shape more easily. So yeah. He forgot his wallet. And so that's something that I highly recommend for areas that don't look quite right for whatever reason. I find it pretty helpful just to go over it again. That way you end up with something semi-accurate. And then the next step is to block it out. Particularly the shapes that you're going over sketchily with. That's my problem. I actually had an art professor who was like against sketching it out quickly like this, of just like going over lines in a sketchy sort of way. And he was one of the only art professors that I had. So I've only taken one class formally. and then one class informally. Anyways, and like anytime he saw me doing this, he would say, "Oh, don't do that. Just draw it firmly. You know, be right the first time," was kind of his line of thinking. And so I did that. But recently I was reading a book called Law's Guide to Nature Drawing and Journaling, I believe, which is a very good book just about drawing in general. And this was actually one of his steps that he did every single time, was sketch it out, then block it, which I'll show you in a minute. It was definitely an interesting experience to make this class, like to write the lesson plan, because I did write my own lesson plan, because I had to go and like think about how I drew stuff, because you get to a certain point where you're just drawing. You don't really think about it step by step as much anymore. Portions of those eyes are not quite right, but that's okay. Just blocking out the nose a little bit there. You can see that there's a flat plane to the nose on the tip. I'm pretty okay at the barely showing kind of teeth. I'm still working on getting good at the like open mouth smiles, but I think that's something that everybody struggles with. Alright. Alrighty, so now that I've done a quick sketch and an outline, I'm actually going to go and take an intermission and go and scan this really fast, because I have to have a step-by-step tutorial for my art class that I'm teaching on Monday, and like that's the entire point of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put up my intermission screen. Well, actually, first I'm going to put up my donation leaderboard as a vague hint of please donate. You could get a commission for really cheap. It'll be great. But I'll be back in a minute. It'll be super fun. I'm gonna go scan this really fast. I just have to run downstairs, scan it, and then run back upstairs. So I'll see you in a few. Hello again, friends. There we are. So I'm back. I scanned it and it went well. It did take me longer than I expected because I guess I assumed that I was just going to be good at using the scanner like an adult. But that is all a-okay. Now we're going to go on with the next step of the tutorial, which is to block out the shapes. And we did a bit of that with just doing the rough sketchy outline, but now we're going to go up. I'll go up a pencil grade just for funsies with that annoying wrapping paper sound of that. So instead of doing the sketches, we're going to do one firm line, and we're just going to do the rough shapes again, and it will be fun. Sorry, got a text from my mom at that point. And we're just gonna go, and again, this is just the very outline that we're doing here. Sorry. And this step is blocking in shapes, and particularly we're blocking in the facial features because, I mean, we already basically blocked in the body here. Beard is a facial feature, right? And we're taking all those sketchy areas that we had and we're making a more defined line. Sorry, I'm just being sketchy when I told you guys not to do that. The nice thing about this is that it's really flexible. Like, there is really no wrong way to draw a portrait. I just find that these basic steps and keeping them in mind is a good way to go about it. There we go. Blocked an ear there. To frame your thoughts, rather. Blocking in the eyebrows. portraits, I've been noticing that a lot of people have tones to their eyebrows. Like, this eyebrow hair is a slightly different shade than this eyebrow hair. And they're often like, they blur out. Oh, hi! I didn't see your comment, Zach Crimson. I'm so glad you could make it, and I'm sorry that I missed you probably forever ago. I'm doing pretty good, and I'm glad that you can make it and that you're here. We're on the blocking portion of the sketch. Like I said, this is mainly something I do for facial features that I'm having trouble with. Keep it pretty sketchy on his hair. But part of what I do is I erase into the hairline to give it that natural kind of look. So yeah. Right, and here is the portion of the evening where I check for proportions. So I do this a couple of ways. One way is that I just kind of take a break and I don't look at the artwork and I don't look at the reference for a minute, and then I look at both of them at the same time, and I kind of like let my eyes go, oh, that's what's wrong. Another way is to be more formal about it and be like, okay, how does the top of the ear connect with the top of the eyebrow? And how does the bottom of the ear, like where does it hit on the nose? And like, where is the jawline hit on the mouth? And that's a pretty good way because a lot of people are fairly regular. When it comes to that sort of thing. And that's one of the reasons that the grid method is especially helpful, because you have this built-in grid right here, and you know that the grid on your picture and you know the grid on your reference are the exact same. So you can look at it and say, are all the pieces of the face showing up in the right portion of the grid? And it's also a good opportunity to use more traditional methods of checking reference, like using your pencil as alright, this eye is this size, and this eye is that size compared to it, and just kind of keeping track of things that way. I mean, that's how, artists usually do it. It's like they hold up their pencil and they look at it. So this is an opportunity to practice that and get really good at that while you have the safety net of the grid as well. So that's what I'm going to do real fast, and then I'm going to go and take another picture. It'll be exciting. And while you do this, you just kind of say the one eye is just a bit longer than the other eye by about, that much. And then you go here and you go, okay, here's one eye. And then it's a little bit longer than it should be, but part of that is the blocking. So you go and you adjust the proportions, because here I've blocked the kind of wrinkles around the eyes as well, like that. So it's hard kind of to tell where it actually goes. By like 1/4. And then you also go, oh wait, this goes further that way. And you can actually see the end of the eye there, too. And you check where the tip of the nose is falling compared to the eye. And where the ears are, because of the angle that Josh is holding his head, your ears and nose / eyes are pretty much in the same area on your head, but like it looks different depending on how you hold your head. Obviously, that's called perspective, friends. So yeah. So you look at the perspective. Alright, I'm going to go and take another scan. I haven't changed very much, so I'm not sure how informative it will be, but hopefully what I did will come across. And if not, I can always, you know, skip that picture in the tutorial and just kind of talk about it. So I'm going to show up the intermission again, and I will see you all in just a second, and hopefully I will be even faster this time because now I know how the scanner works. Hi friends, back again. Oh, where's my music? I knocked my phone on the ground right before I came. Oh hey Shadows and Zach. Hey Micah, I'm alone. OMG, I can spam. No mods around. Oh, apparently my music came back with a vengeance. Hopefully it's not too loud, friends. And hi Zach Crimson again. I'm glad you guys could stop by. Sorry that I have to take so many breaks to scan, but like I said, I'm doing a tutorial for a class, which is so exciting. It's actually an online class. This is the wrong earbud for my ear. This is awkward. So what I'm doing is I'm teaching an online class for how to do exactly this, how to make a graphite portrait using the grid method to like 12 to 15 about there. maybe 12 to 17. I can't remember what exactly the age group is. And the first class that I'm doing is free, so like if any of you are part of OutSchool, which is this online platform for people who can teach classes that don't actually necessarily have the experience to get like a teacher's job, for homeschooling students, because homeschoolers are generally aware of the fact that, you know, people who don't have like certificates and degrees can also teach you things. You should have way more than 201 subs. Oh, thank you, Shadows. That's so nice for you to say. So that's what I'm doing on Monday, and the first class that I'm doing is free. So if any of you are a part of, you know, the OutSchool platform where you have an account there, then feel free to sign up. It's on Monday morning. It's called Easy and Fun Portraiture, and there's a picture of Josh in the thumbnail of the class, so it should be pretty easy to find for those of you who are both of our fans. So we went through and we did the proportions and we did the blocking, and now we're going to clean it up the edges a little bit with the eraser. Not too much, obviously, but enough that in a bit we can shade without it being too big of a deal. There's one other proportion thing that I was going to check before I got too excited, but I've already forgotten what it was that I was going to double check, so, you know. Hooray, me! Maybe his ear comes a little further down. So go look on the OutSchool if you're part of that. Sign up for my free class. After this, I'm going to try and charge like $10, which is apparently the standard for an hour-long class. Is usually they're $10. But I'm hoping to get people who, A, discover that they like my classes and want to take others that I put out, and B, to get some reviews on the class so that other people who are looking at it for next time will be like, oh, this looks awesome. Hopefully people and other people have, you know, given it good reviews. Assuming that I will get good reviews. And then more people will sign up and pay the $10 after I give, you know, the one free class. You should thank Josh for me being here. He told me about your channel. I will. Josh is my favorite. I did marry him. And all that, so I should hope that he's my favorite. Alright, so now we're going to go in and we're going to tweak the lines, but this time we're going to look at the negative space rather than the positive space. So instead of looking at the shape of the ear, I'm going to look at the shape of the space in the square outside of his ear. And that honestly helps me get a more accurate line than you might think. Because you don't really have a preconceived notion of this is what this should look like or anything. And I'm discovering that his ear is just a little bit too big. And so you go and you redraw these lines again, but this time you try to draw the actual finished shape. And you're... Here I am drawing the ear exactly the same way, even though I just said it was too big. And you're trying to get that really accurate look. And part of this can be the blocking in. So yeah. Negative space. So right now I'm looking at this shape here. And I'm trying to make this shape more accurate. And I'm not really looking at his ear when I'm doing this. I'm not really looking at his neck, except to clean up this line a little bit. So it's the next step after blocking. You do the details. And like you notice that there's a little bit of a curve here, but it doesn't go up down as far as you thought it did. So this comes and meets it up, and it's actually a little bit more dramatic than that even. So yeah, it's fun. And this actually really helps with eyes, because instead of looking at the eye, you look at the shape around the eye. You look at the shape between the top of the eyelid, for instance, and the eyebrow, and you look at the shape from the underneath the eye to the nose, and like you look at the negative spaces, and it helps you become more accurate. I'm actually going to switch back to my HB pencil here. By the way, if you're into woodless pencils, I like the Koh-i-Noor brand. Although I've had woodless pencils before that I could also use as like a watercolor pigment, if that makes sense. And you can't do that with these. But that woodless pencil that I had before was also like the softest pencil that I could buy at the time. Cleaning up the eye here. So that could have had something to do with it. And like here, instead of exactly looking at the iris, I'm looking at the shape remaining in the whites of his eyes next to the iris, and I'm trying to make that shape more accurate. Instead of doing the pupil, I'm making the shapes outside of the pupil more accurate. Actually, I'm going to break out the kneadable eraser for this. So I highly recommend checking your negative spaces, is what I am talking about here. Hey Josh, I'm glad you could stop by. We're drawing your eyes now and trying not to be intimidated by them. You do have very nice eyes though. If no one donates, by the way, and breaks that tie between donation leaderboard, Cameron Christensen and Detective Pack, then we'll probably just have a random drawing. I don't know if I'll do that on stream, probably afterwards. I gotta go do some chores and maybe back. Bye chat and Micah. See you, Zach. I'm glad you could stop by. Because I want to draw the thing on stream, so it seems better to do it outside of stream, and then like contact Detective Pack on Twitter or Zach Crimson. Although I don't think Zach Crimson follows me on Twitter. Or one of you lovely people could just sweep in with like a $6 donation and ensure yourself a... This eye is way too big. Well, actually, this eye is pretty squinty. No, it's the same size. Let's see. It seems to be coming out about right. I think the problem is that it's coming up too high. And as you're drawing, you'll notice proportion mistakes that you missed, and that is a-okay, friends. I promise. Hey, Extremely Savage! Hey, Bob. I'm so glad you guys could make it. I am just drawing Josh's face right now, and more particularly, I am working on his eye. Which is being difficult. For reasons of vengeance, I can only conclude. And honestly, there is no shame in breaking out the ruler and checking on your reference and then checking on your portrait. I'm endless gaming. My account got banned, but it's unbanned. Can I be mod Micah? I don't really need any mods right now. I mean, hardly anything goes on in my chat. And if there is somebody that needs to be like banned or like a comment erased and no one is here, then I can just do it really easily myself. It's not like gaming where like I have my hands full and then I have to pause the game and then I have to get back into the game without screwing it up. It's not too hard to pause my drawing. No mods required, exactly, Bob. Like, who is going to mod what? What is there to mod? And honestly, the fact that, like, that you'll be discouraged and you'll be making mistakes is something that I want to communicate to my students, and if they happen to stop by, they'll see that even I get discouraged and even I make mistakes. Hey, Top Classic! Are you a United supporter? I don't know what that means. Josh. Like, the guys in your drawing looks familiar. Did you date him or something? Well, it is you, sweetie, so I should hope that he looks at least a little familiar. The funny thing is that a while ago, I posted a portrait of myself that I did. This was like years ago. Posted a portrait of myself that I did on Facebook. I was like, hey, look, I drew a portrait of myself. And most people were like, oh, that's pretty good. I'm impressed. Aha. But this one guy was like, I don't think that's you, but it looks like somebody I'd like to meet. Like, it's me, dude. I drew it from a picture of myself. Like, what are you saying here? And so, I don't know. So I don't post pictures on Facebook anymore. It's the moral of that story. Alright, so now I've gone and I've done the negative space and I've tried to make the eyes a little bit more accurate, although I'm going to dwell on them for a second longer Just kidding, friends, we're not moving on. We'll never move on. Yeah, likes and shares honestly help me a ton. They help more people find me and everything, so. Let's see. So I'm also gonna go ahead and block out some of the shadows. And I'm actually gonna do all the shadows at once. So that'll be exciting. Or color things in more accurately. And I don't have my hand shield paper because I'm always so prepared. So I'm gonna start with this 6B pencil just on Josh's hair here, because it's like the darkest thing in the picture. But I think I'll move down to a 4B to block out the other shadows that will be coming in a second. It'll be exciting. I wasn't here from the start. What did you draw first in the face? I did the nose and the mouth first, because they're pretty simplistic shapes here. And obviously, like, I'm gonna be tweaking the mouth, especially in a bit. I mean, the shapes look accurate to me. Sorry, just double checking the proportions. You always double check proportions while you're thinking about things. Yeah, the shapes look accurate. The lip might be a little big, but I'm going to shade it a little bit and see if that helps. Because sometimes things look wildly wrong, and then it turns out that they were fine. And I put details like the iris and like some of the shadows in the eye exactly last. So my system here, Top Classic, is to go and do a sketchy outline slash block shapes in. And then go and make finer details on the outline, especially using negative space, so looking at like the space around the ear rather than at the ear, and then put in more of the details that you're drawing in your outline. Not sure what's going on there. Sorry, getting text. Sorry, I got distracted while I was explaining something. Hopefully I won't be so scatterbrained while I'm actually teaching the class on Monday, which is, again, throughout school. So go ahead and check that out. It's called Fun and Easy Portraiture, and it has a picture of Josh on like the class picture, so only one person has signed up so far. So I just quickly block out the darks. There aren't very many darks in this picture, if you'll notice. Where's my OBS? There it is. Why can't we be friends? Yes, there's a little pretend fight going on in the chat, which is kind of hilarious. So if you'll notice, the darks are basically his beard and his eyes in some places, but not others. Oh, his eyes are really intense. Anyways, so I'm blocking out the first layer on the very darkest darks. So basically I'm just coloring in his beard right now, especially like right here. In a second, I'll do the darker darks on like the shirt, but I'll do it in like a 4B maybe instead of a 6B. In case you don't know, pencil darknesses have two things. There's an H scale and a B scale, and the H scale is hardness, and the higher the number that's next to the H, like 8H versus 2H, the 8H would be harder and thus lighter. And then on the other side of the pencil scale is blackness, so the higher the number next to the B, so like 6B rather than 2B, is blacker or darker and softer. I don't know why they did it like that. It's something I'm covering in my class, but not religiously. It doesn't really matter too much, as long as you know like the general idea of what they're going for. Yeah, so I get rid of the darker parts first. And as I've been doing color pencil, one of the main tenets of color pencil is that you do things in layers. So you work up in layers. Working up in layers in like graphite pencil is surprisingly useful. So you'll do like one shade and then you'll blend it out, and then you'll go back and you'll go over the darks again, this time adding more detail and more detail as you go, and you'll also pick out the lights. And lucky all of you, I'm about to do all of that. Yep, so I do the darks first. Also, generally I start on one area of the body, like I'll do the shadows on his shirt first, and then I'll move to the shadows in his hair, and then I'll move to the shadows on his face. But this time I'm trying a new method where I just do everything at once, primarily because I'm doing a tutorial with this, and I need to do it that way. So that my tutorial will look cohesive. And I guess we'll find out if this is a mistake in a bit. But I don't think it is. I think it'll be da bomb. Do I get cool points for jokingly using old slang? Or does it just seem like I'm actually trying to use old slang? Okay, so now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do some of the darker shadows on his shirt, and again, I'm just blocking them out. I'm not trying to make them too accurate right now. That's 2B. There's HB, and oh, and right in the middle is HB, which I guess you probably can't see that. So it's 6B to like 2B, then HB in the middle, and then on the other side of that is 2H to 6H, or however high it goes. I actually legitimately have no idea. So there's 4B. So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna quickly block out some of the shadows that I see, and it's gonna be really loose and not too particular and fun. I actually probably want to go mostly lighter on his face, except for the shadows under his eyes are pretty dark. And they give him definition, so I don't really want to censor those. And actually, I need to go through and erase some of these guidance lines, particularly on the shirt, because they're just gonna get in the way. I didn't erase them in the hair, because the hair is gonna be the darkest thing. But like on the lip, and over here in the face. Now that we have got a really accurate outline, it's time to erase the guidance lines in most of these places. Getting a good eraser is probably going to be like the most helpful thing. Josh and I, Top Classic, met at university. We were living in the same block of housing units. Like, he was living in the male counterpart to my female part. And we actually were in the same block of houses, and we like saw each other around and never talked. And then we moved from that block of houses to another block of houses for the summer, like independently of each other. And we were in the same block of houses again. Sorry, trying to find the right pencil while I'm talking. Apparently that is too much coordination for me. So we were in the same block of houses again, and we dated for like 2 weeks, and then we moved again, this time outside of like the university housing to like independent housing like near the university, and then we were like in the same apartment complex together, and then we really started dating. Just looking at the neckline here to see if it's super accurate. There are a lot of very, very light shadows in Josh's shirt here. Oh, and I was gonna erase these marks too. And then eventually we got married. Just from, you know, being in the same group of houses again and again and again and again. Although, to be fair, the last time was a little bit purposeful, because I was like, well, I don't know where I want to live. In the surrounding houses, like, I don't know what's good. I'm the first member of my family to go to this university. I don't know, like, what's good around here. Online reviews can only tell you so much. It's better to have, like, an honest review from a buddy. And so I asked him, like, if he liked the place where he was living, and he said yes. So I moved in. And, like, that had been over the summer, and we dated for, like, 2 weeks at the beginning of that summer, and we kind of just continued at the end of the summer. And I don't remember if we were officially dating at the time. I do know that over the summer I pretty much planned on breaking up with him, but I had decided to be nice and not do it, like, immediately. Oh dang, I'm getting smudges everywhere. That's no good. See, this is why you need a shield paper. I'm going to go get one right now. So I use this piece of paper, and I use it to shield my hand from smudging the graphite. Oh, Josh is back for a sec. Hey, sweetie. We were just talking about how we first met and how I was gonna break up with you, and then I didn't. As in, like, right at the beginning of that school semester, after our first summer together. Yeah, well, thank God you two didn't break up. Yep. So we ended up married, and I've enjoyed it profusely. Being married is nice, in case you're wondering about my professional opinion on that. I also had huge commitment issues at the time. Like, of the what is love even, like, kind of variety. But we're married now, so everything is good. These shadows are just extremely light on his chest. Trying not to overdo them. I've never used that paper technique for the eraser. Leftovers, lol. You can tell I'm not good at English speaker. Oh, I'm not a good English speaker. Oh my goodness. I'm making you sound like a worse English speaker than you are. I haven't noticed, honestly, Top Classic. I think you're doing really well. I promise we're not too judgmental here. We understand that our language is bogus. And honestly, a less lazy person would just not touch the paper with their hand. But I'm not about that life. Alright, now it's time to blend it out. I'm gonna get a piece of toilet paper real fast. Using any sort of tissue paper is just a really easy and cheap way to get a blending tool. I also use stumps and tortillons, but recently what I've been doing for like big, less important shading techniques is to just go and like roll it up and then twist it a little and then fold it. And then you have like almost a tip, and you can just sort of buff out the pencil strokes. Of course, if I do this too vigorously, I can shake my camera, which I'm sure is annoying to you lovely people. So I try not to. Oh, I forgot to fill this one in. Try not to shade too vigorously for that reason, at least personally. I'm sure most of you do not have cameras pointed at your work. So anyways, yeah, that's what I do for shading. I block in the big shapes and then I buff them out, and in a second I'm going to have to go and, well, in a second I'm going to have to look at the nose again, and the mouth, and the face. And I just do the very base layer, very loose. You can go and you can pick out highlights later, and you can go and you can when you're blending out the shading, and particularly with a tissue that you don't want to do too much on, you don't want to go through too quickly because you're lazy, you go from lights to darks so that you're not like staining your lighter shades with the graphite from the darker shades. So let's see. Hi, Micronix Gaming and Detective Pack. Micah is streaming. Yeah, we have one streaming setup, Matronix, and he also doesn't stream on Thursdays. because I'm streaming on Thursdays. Hello everyone, me and Rucker at Jack in the Box. That's awesome, Detective. Detective Pack, you are still one of the first place holders for the donation leaderboard. So you might end up with a free commission next month if no one else donates. The top leaderboard right now position is just $5. And alternatively, Detective, you could donate another $1 and then be a shoo-in for the next donor commission spot. Because otherwise it's going to be a random draw. But if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that too. So as I was saying, you just go and you do really loosey-goosey on the shadows at first, and then you go back and you pick out highlights and you do darks, and you're going to see all that in a second. Oh, makes sense now, says Major Nix. Hey, Rocker Chick! Josh showed me the rocket chicken Photoshop that he was doing of you the other day, and I just laughed for like 5 ever friends. Because often, for those of you who don't know, Rocker Chick for some weird reason, when you type in Rocker Chick on your phone, it autocorrects to Rocket Chicken, which is hilarious. Yeah, eventually we want to get our own setups, and Josh is pretty close to getting a gaming computer. And so, like, his current computer would be able to move to my own setup to stream from. But I would need other things, like I would need my own screen, I would need my own capture device, I would need, you know, all the things that would go along with having my own drawing setup for live streaming. But I have a desk and it's beautiful and it's just over there. I'm not going to show you because my room is filthy, but it's over there and it's awesome. It was so funny, I actually changed my PlayStation picture to a baby chick, LOL, just because of that. Yes. I mean, it makes sense. Like, really, the chicken is a noble breed of bird. It gets a lot of PR that is negative, but... So yeah. So I might have my own setup soon, and that would be awesome. We definitely still would not be able to stream at the same time because our internet sucks for some sad, strange reason. But, like, eventually we might get, like, Google Fiber if it ever comes to our house and we can afford it. In which case we could stream at the same time. Except we still have setups in the same room, so that might be distracting because, like, I'm really soft and Josh is really loud, so I don't know how well that would work. Alright, so those are the blocks of shading that I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go and make this darker. And you can tell it's very, very blocky. Like, there's not a lot of definition in the hair, there's not a lot of definition in the face. I basically just went and went, oh, there's a shadow here. And then I made a shadow there, and without a lot of thought to it. There's lots of shadow on the eye here, though. So now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take another scan for this portion of the tutorial that I'm doing for my class on Monday. Hooray! And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pick out the highlights and I'm going to do some more darks and I'm just going to keep layering it and layering it and layering it until it looks semi-realistic, which will be awesome. So I'm going to put you guys on intermission again, and I'm really pushing the donation leaderboard. I'm sorry for being so bossy about it, but I don't know, I just don't want to deal with the awkwardness of somebody having the highest donation. Like, it's a tie right now, and I don't really want to deal with the fact that, like, somebody who is the highest donor this month will not get a commission and somebody will. But I also don't want to do 2 commissions for some weird reason. So I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go scan the artwork again for the class that I'm doing on Monday, and I will see you in a few. Hello again, friends. I am back. Rocker Chick says, OMG, I totally forgot to send you a scan of the drawing. I feel so bad. I've been so busy with school and stuff. Seriously, no worries. I was thinking about using it as like an example in the class that I'm going to teach, but now that I'm drawing this, I don't need it as much, even though I would still like to have it because I think it's one of the better drawings that I've done in the last little bit. Oh, wrong screen? Dang it. Oh, yep, that is scene 1, not Sing. I am not the Josh Watson. I should really label those. It's kind of important. Thanks for the heads up, Rocker Chick. So yeah. Hey, that's my logo, says the Josh Watson. Yep, it is. It's weird how that happens sometimes. Just looking at the eye some more. I think I'm gonna adjust it real fast. Even though I just did the shading. That's the nice thing about graphite, is that you can click Control Z as many times as you want. That's funny. Josh and his darn complex face. Yep. He does have a pretty darn complex face. Eyes are the tricky thing for me, and honestly I usually advocate doing the thing that is trickiest last, but I'm seeing if doing the tricky eyes first will retain more viewers, because then I have a captivating, interesting picture. Because there are eyes to look at. Everything says that they should be fine. Like all the things that I'm checking, but they just don't look fine. And I'm sure part of that is the fact that I haven't shaded them in yet. Like nothing ever looks actually fine when it's not shaded. But I'm still feeling paranoid about it. And that is okay, friends. just going over and doing another round of shading. Blocking in those shapes that I kind of ruined when I redid the eyes there just now. Alright, so now this is the portion of the evening where I lift highlights and I go over the darks again. I lift highlights mainly with my kneadable eraser. And I'm zooming in pretty far on my reference here on the computer on Photoshop. So that I can really pick out the intricacies. There's a girl here who looks like she's about your age and she's roughly your height. That's cool. I don't see that a lot, honestly. So it's kind of a highlight here, but it's like a zigzaggy highlight, which is interesting. Just because of the texture of the shirt. So here I'm just looking and I'm seeing like where are the shadows darkest and where are they lightest and how can I communicate that, and also like going in and add that shading so that the shirt looks more accurately like a shirt. Forgetting to use my shield. And like here I noticed that that goes up a little bit, and like right here there's a little bit of a darker shadow in amongst this zigzaggy shadow here. So I go and I put that in. And it's a very, very light sort of thing. So I'm trying really hard not to overdo it. I'm actually using my HB pencil right now and going very lightly. This is one of my favorite parts, actually. Picking out the highlights in the shadow and transforming it into something that looks kind of real is always extremely satisfying. And this is the point in the evening, hello Patsy, that I break out the stumps. Except these are dirty stumps, so, oh! But I was a smart waffle and I brought, oh, is this old? Huh. And I brought some sandpaper to clean up my stump a little bit. Occasionally I'll actually sharpen my stumps in my pencil sharpener, but I love my pencil sharpener and I don't want to ruin it, so I only do that when the stumps are incredibly frustratingly not pointy. So you can definitely do this part with a tissue still. Tissues are just a little less imprecise, and I went ahead and got myself some stumps right when I was first getting back into drawing a little while ago. Because they're kind of like the go-to artist's blending tool, even though like I'm realizing more and more that not a lot of artists use them. I guess in my mind they were the go-to artist blending tool, but in actuality they are not as much. So you can definitely use a tissue. They're just a little bit more precise than tissues, is what I was saying. And here I'm just kind of going along and adding more layers where I need them as I'm blending, so that hopefully I'll only have to go through this once. Also, this portrait is going a lot faster than I thought it would. I was prepared to spend like 4-ish hours here today, but I'm going to be finished around my usual time of 3 hours for a stream. Which is silly because I've been trying to do longer streams, but like I run out of energy, or I'm like I can't do this ridiculous artwork. Josh is wondering what time I'll be finished, so he'll know what time I'll be home. I'm guessing around 12 or 1 at the latest. I was considering doing a bonus artwork though, because I'm going to be finished super fast for this, and I was planning on doing a longer stream today. But I guess we do have other things to do. Guys, we might be going to the Humane Society, which will be so awesome! If a little irresponsible of us. Oh, I'm forgetting to use my shield. Considering doing an Emperor's New Groove reference, but in the time it took me to decide whether or not everyone would understand that and appreciate that, it was kind of getting too long to make a reference for it to be on point with what I was doing. So next time maybe I will use the Emperor's New Groove reference, and maybe I won't. But I guess let me know if you would have understood that reference in the comments. If you care at all. Oh cool, somebody else just signed up for my portraiture class. That's exciting. Again, it's Monday morning, it's on OutSchool, it's called Easy and Fun Portraiture. I'll be going step by step on how to make a portrait, kind of like I'm doing here, but with slides and other students. And the first one on Monday is free, and after that I'm going to be charging $10 per person per class. So hopefully people will sign up after there are like a few reviews of the class. This is too dark. There we go. Yeah, Josh says you're making good on time this drawing, so I was just curious. Yeah, I was gonna be like, I'm gonna do the whole portrait this time, and I'm gonna do like the long hours of the stream, and then I'm going like super fast, and I'm super on point this time. I don't know what it is, but maybe just knowing that I'm doing a class on this is like, I'm a professional now. I have to behave professionally and be on point. Or something, I don't know. I'm just guessing. As I'm doing this, I'm also examining more and more like my method and be like, oh, so that's how I do that. Darklight, this music is so good. Yeah, thanks for stopping by the way, Darklight. I do really enjoy the music, though. The music and I are like BFFs. Not really. It's not like I listen to this outside of my streams. But I do think that the music is good for what I'm trying to do here, which is help you relax. Alright, let's see. Let's go further down here. And it's really important to go in layers like this when you're doing portraiture. Because then you can have time to pay attention to the intricacies, and you can have time to really pay attention to how dark things are and how light things are, and to go from there. Because you're never going to get everything the first time perfectly. Oftentimes, suggesting things with the texture of your pencil is more powerful than being super duper accurate. Like suggesting the texture and everything. Like here there's a bit of like a zigzaggy shadow of a crinkle on his shirt, and I'm just suggesting that rather than being too concerned about being exactly accurate. Particularly since I don't want to go too dark on this shirt. So yeah. For instance, I'm not going to draw every single hair in his beard and his hair, but I'm going to suggest the things with like how I'm doing the layering and how I'm doing the textures. Alright, let's see. His mouth needs a little help. So that's what I'm going to do right now. The thing about mouths is that there's no really hard lines in them. Everything kind of shades out, fades out. Like, this isn't really a hard line here that I've drawn. It's more of a blend. Particularly when said person is not wearing lipstick, which I'm pretty sure Josh is not wearing lipstick in this picture. I just have a hunch. I'm gonna draw the teeth because the teeth are just barely picking out. I'll show you the reference again. There we are. Eyes are bigger in the reference, aren't they? Well, that's what erasing is for. Could have sworn that I double checked that though. Anyways, what we're doing right now is the teeth. I'm just gonna go in with my HB pencil and barely 2 teeth are showing through, and the rest is beard. But it's an important 2 teeth. So I'm going to let them shine. Like, this is one of his main incisors. And then back here. So what I do for teeth is I mostly do the top, like the gums and the negative space in their mouth, rather than like drawing the teeth themselves. That usually helps them not look like chiclets, which is a problem that a lot of artists struggle with. And then you do light shading as well. And like I said previously, Josh here is mostly having his beard in the way of his upper lip. So there's not a lot of definition to his lip here. And this is one of the places where you're really just suggesting. You're suggesting that there are teeth here. Alright, I'm gonna go over and do some more of his beard right now. And then I'm gonna fix his face and his eyes. Hopefully. Hi again from the Josh Watson. I'm glad you could stop by so often this time, sweetie. Try not to make you look like a hillbilly. Not that there's really anything wrong with looking like a hillbilly. Just that you are not one. So. Going straight up to his hair because I like doing hair. With no pupils, my eyes look kind of like demonized just because you haven't done the pupils. Yep, they do. They also look like they might be a little smallish or close set. I can't decide which. Maybe it's because this needs to be more like that. I don't know though. Gaming for the win. Hi, I'm glad you could stop by. Right now we're doing Josh's beard and hair. We've finished-ish this portion of his body. We did his mouth, and now we're going to do his hair, and then we're going to try and fix his eyes a little bit. And, do the cheekbones. Because something looks off about his cheek right there. Probably just because this is not quite the right shape. Alright, I'm gonna blend it out. This time again with my stump. And then I'll go and I'll pick out highlights. I eventually want to get a really skinny eraser that's actually encased inside a wood casing like a pencil. I think Derwent sells them. And that way I can like do really, really fine highlights like this. But I have not gotten it yet. So I'll just have to continue living the dream. Darklight wants to know how everyone is. I'm pretty good. I'm pleasantly pleased and surprised with how well this portrait is going so quickly. Getting distracted by his ear here for a second, friends. Although everything on this ear is just a little bit too dark. Because I was prepared to spend a lot of time on this portrait, but it's going swimmingly. Just lightening that entire ear just a little bit. There we go. I'm glad everyone is okay too, Darklight. back to the hair. Now that the ear is better. Should I get a facial piercing? No. Let me think about that for a second. No. Poll of the day. Well, there aren't very many people here, so it wouldn't be a scientifically valid poll, because you really need to ask at least 100 people. And like it has to be randomly assorted. It shouldn't be like just my live stream feed where you ask it there. You know, technically. Because I'm sure what you're looking for is actually a scientifically accurate poll with like a plus and minus. Snake bites? I don't know what those are. And so this is the part where I'm going to pull out some of the highlights and I'm going to try and affect the texture of the hair. With my very, very not great for the job. A kneadable eraser. No joke, I wanted snake bites in high school. I've got them. Really, LOL. To me or to Darklight? I don't feel like I could pull them off now. Yeah, what are snake bites? I literally have no idea. Yeah, I got them on my 17th birthday, and now I'm 19. That's a pretty awesome birthday gift. Or birthday activity. Mike could draw them as a test run. Well, I have to know what they are. I can't draw what I don't know. I guess I could Google them. Do I want to Google them? So I'm going to blend these out just a little bit. I also thought about getting my ears pierced, but I don't think I can pull that off either. Yeah. Probably not, dearest. I'm not cool enough. No, probably not. Alright, and this time... Actually, this time I'm going to sharpen my pencil real fast. I am going to mute it so you don't have to listen to it. Alright friends, I sharpened my pencil because now I'm doing more of the texturing. Glanced away for a second, looked back to see that the other paper covering the face and thought you had erased it. Yeah. Gone into like a rage quit mode and just like erased everything. Those 2 hours of work. The highlights in the hair look super good. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I need to work on this area of the face, but the hair is coming together nicely. I am very good at hair. Hair is fun because it doesn't have to be too precise. You do the darks, you blend it out, you do the highlights, you blend those out just a tiny little bit, and then you go over it and you do darks again, but this time in a textured sort of way of, this is the hair now. And it really comes together well. And it's one of those, you know, suggested. And then you just blend these out just a tiny little bit as well. Just enough in some places that it looks awesome. Of course, I have to go back and do the highlights and then the textured darks back here in just a second. But I'm gonna go ahead and do some more darks here first. At the very back of the head. Maybe I'll do 2 portraits next week. Maybe both people will win a portrait. Of course, that's very cocky of me to say. There we go. I'm just gonna clean up this hairline just a tiny bit. I'm gonna go ahead and try adding some highlights with my gel pen real fast, but it's already not working, so I just need to get a better gel pen, honestly, friends. Because there's like little hair wide highlights everywhere. But let's abandon that. Maybe I'll try again for the beard. On another super random tangent, I've wondered what it's like to make out with someone who has snake bites. Same with braces. I can't imagine that either would be too fun. I mean, snake bites. I'm just gonna look that up right now. Actually, friends. Because I feel like I'm missing out on something by not knowing what it is. But I think I know what it is now that I've thought about it for a bit. Oh yeah, I do know what that is. That's where, like, it's like right here. Okay, now I'm informed. Braces, I can't imagine would be fun because, like, I've had braces and those were too dang sharp in my own mouth. So, like, why in the world would you want to make out with somebody who has that same problem? I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. I wouldn't even have wanted to kiss too many people with my own braces in. It's not a comfortable way to be. I wouldn't know about any of that. LOL. So yeah. It's one of my few regrets from my dating life. Not really. This is definitely dangerous ground to be making those jokes, sweetie. I have the power. Not really. Mostly it's just that people take things seriously on the internet. Where's my kneadable eraser? There it is. I found it, friends. It's a bit of a highlight here. Kind of some highlights here. This entire thing is kind of blended out smoothly into the face. That is too dark. That hair really does look super good. Thank you, sweetie. Would rate 8 out of 8, mate. Thanks. Now I just have to replicate it for the beard. Alright. Just a little bit more blending, and then I'm going to do some more highlights, I think. I'm going to give this another chance. Though I suppose I really could have used my embossing tool here. And it's too late for that now. Just a touch more blending. Alright. Let's see. I'll show you the reference again. I think the eyes are actually a little bit bigger. These eyes are killing me. They're killing me, Smalls. Maybe it's just that they're shaded, though. Let's see. Looking at the negative space now. I know, it seems like they're the right size, but they don't look right. And that could literally just be the shading. I don't know. I'm gonna make that a little more stark, though. On the ear here. Oh, sorry, the reference is still up. Not very useful of me. I'm gonna go ahead and do this nose, actually. Hey, Shadows! Hi, sorry I left for ages. No worries, Shadows. I'm so glad that you could stop by. We're just working on the nose now. When drawing, it's important to draw what you see and not what you know, if that makes sense. Like, I know what an eye looks like, and that can seriously interfere with what I see on the page if I'm not careful. Because, like, this is a photograph. What I see is more accurate than what I know, but sometimes it's hard to acknowledge that. Just making everything a little lighter. I love this music. I'm glad you like it. VRTZ. TX. Sorry. It's meant to be very relaxing. Getting distracted by his jawline here. Josh with snake bites, I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, I couldn't either, honestly. There we go. Minecraft and chill. That's a good idea too. Yeah, this is definitely a stream where you can do other things and listen and kind of have it on in the background and like look over occasionally and be like, oh wow, Netflix and chilps. Puff. Apparently I can't do that sound effect, which is a strange thing to discover about myself this late in life. Oh sorry, the reference is still up. Man, I have that problem with life. Hi Mr. Bunny, I'm so glad you could make it. We're just finishing up the shadows around the eyes. And we'll probably visit his ears again in a second, actually, friends, because they look like they need a little help. And by in a second, I mean I'm gonna get distracted by that right now. What else could it be? But yeah, apparently my life goal today is to forget that I had the reference up. Are you new around here because I'm Dirty Dan? What Dan? OMG, she said shadows. OMG, I'm famous. Well, considering that I've been talking to you for a while, I think you're very famous by now. Shadows. There's barely any highlight over here. It's mostly just darkness. Oh, you in live now? Yeah, I'm in Portland now, and I am streaming live now. Have you never been a part of a live stream before? Yep, and this is all happening right now. It's kind of the appeal is I get to talk to you, and your name is in my video for forever, Mr. Bunny. And it's really just like a nice opportunity to chill with friends and acquaintances. From United States, yes. Micah and the Josh watching. Yep, I don't think Josh is in the chat right now though, but he's my moderator, which is just the person that makes sure the chat is a nice place to be. Not that I really need it right now with just a few of you watching. He's also my husband, and I live with him, and I love him. Shockingly enough, that I love my husband that I am married to. Yeah, this side is pretty dark. Yes, it does look a lot better now that I put the shading in. I was worried that like it would still look like a grotesque, weirdy eye for no particular reason. Shading helps, friends. Oh, you're in Florida, Mr. Bunny? That's awesome. When I was younger, I wouldn't say little, because I think I was in high school at the time. So, I mean, I was little, but size-wise, not age-wise. I actually wanted to ride my bike from Portland area to Florida, and I wanted to hit as many national parks along the way as I possibly could. But I never did that, partially because I don't really ride bikes that much, and also partially because I am a small female. And that just seemed like a bad idea overall. I know maybe Josh and I will do it at some point. Except I don't know if that's something that he'd be interested in. But the reason I wanted to do it, the national park that I wanted to hit last, is that there's a national park in Florida somewhere where you could go and see manatees. And I thought that was really cool. Alright, there we go. There's some shading. Wait, am I a friend or an acquaintance? Like a nerd, I read a lot. I love to read. I don't do it as much as I used to, and I want to get back into it. So I'm going to... Oh, I have to actually be on Photoshop to zoom out with my keyboard commands. Weirdly enough, I'm gonna zoom out and I'm gonna just look at this for a second. His neck is a little brighter, and the bright spots in his ears are brighter. You're always just making these adjustments of like, where are the highlights? Are they showing up? Am I doing it right? Are the proportions still on? Alright. I think this is a little darker down here. I can't believe that I'm doing this so fast. who I just randomly saw a live video and decided to check it out. Well, I'm glad you decided to check it out. We do this every Thursday. Theoretically, I'm working my way up to super long videos. Like, usually I do a 3-hour video, but I wanted to condense into doing one artwork per video and doing longer streams. But, like, I have limited amount of art energy. And so for a while I was still doing 3-hour streams, and I was like, I have to break that 3-hour barrier. I'm going to go into art overdrive and like just do an entire portrait in one sitting. But this is essentially finished, and we're at 2.5 hours. So I was planning on going for at least 2 more hours, or at least an hour and a half longer. So now I'm just gonna go through and make adjustments. So next time I'll have to do a more complicated portrait, or I'll have to do a portrait of like 2 people. Next time, actually, I'm going to be doing the commission for the donation leaderboard winner. Right now, 2 people are tied, Detective Pack and Cameron Christensen. If no one donates between now and next week to beat that donation, then I'll probably just do like a random coin flip. But unfortunately, I'll have to do it off screen, because I mean I have to prepare for the portrait and get it done. So yeah. But like Mr. Bunny or Shadows, if you donate like $6, then you get a commission that's of this quality, and then I'll draw it live on stream for you, and that will be really awesome. A gamer and an artist got married, WTF. Yep. Well, to be fair, I wasn't as much of an artist when Josh and I got married, and he wasn't as much of a gamer. We've grown in separate directions. Alright. This is a little darker up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and darken it real fast. Josh, how did you and Micah meet? We met at university. Weren't you here when I was explaining that whole big thing earlier, Shadows? I feel like you were the one who asked me, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just confused. And that pocket doesn't look super on point. Maybe I'll work on that for a second. If I donate $5.10, can I choose? I didn't. Indeed you could. Keep in mind that PayPal does subtract a fee, but any amount of donations is very helpful, and you would technically win with $5.10. I won't penalize anyone for the PayPal fee. I'm gonna close the door real fast because Josh is having a conversation in the kitchen. Yep, $1 or $5.01 counts too. Yep, you would just have to hit me up on Twitter or some other forum, like even I think YouTube has a messaging service for whatever reason. And send me the picture that you want me to draw, and it's like a graphite portrait theoretically, but it could be a drawing of anything that's at about the same level. So like I wouldn't like draw a giant family portrait. But like 9 by 12, 1 or 2 people, or like a dog or something. And I'm also opening up commissions, by the way, friends. And I'm charging about $50 for a commission like this, so it would be a really good deal to get it for $5.01. Shadows. Well, my stupid white pen is just stupid and frustrating. Did you see Bunny's question up there? Oh, I don't think I did. I'm gonna scroll up to find your question, Bunny. How long have you been drawing? I've been working on this for 2 hours and 35 minutes. I've been drawing off and on for about 10 years. I've only taken 2 formal classes though. Most of it is self-taught. Or most of my talent is self-taught, is what I mean to say. And I also mean to say that you can do it too. And I'm teaching a class on Monday through Outschool. It's called Fun and Easy Portraiture, or Easy and Fun Portraiture. It has a picture of Josh as the thumbnail, so it should be pretty easy to find. And so the first class is actually going to be free, and it's an hour-long class, and I just talk about like all my tips and tricks. And this is actually the tutorial that I'm posting like on the slideshow of this step by step. And we're also doing exercises in the class to talk about everything that I've done and how to do it. And it should be a really good class. This shadow is slightly wrong. There we go. I'm that one guy that thinks every question is about me. I can talk to Siri and she's typing it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Siri. I think this eye is a little darker. Am I out of music? Seriously? What's going on? Apparently it got paused somehow, so that's fun. Now this is a little darker here. I'm just gonna go over the whole thing like this. One important tip that I always give, and I'll be giving in this class on Monday. I'm home now, FYI. Yeah, I heard you, babe. Your Twitter name is true. Oh, thank you, Shadows. I was having a really hard time deciding on a Twitter name, and Josh helped me choose. So, I'm glad that it is accurate to your satisfaction. Is a tiny little highlight there. Josh, weren't you home before? Yeah, he was out and about before. And now he's home. Oh, he got home like a few minutes ago. Is what he was saying. I assume. Maybe there was a psycho killer in the house and he didn't want to tell me about it. Just kidding, friends. Making this a bit darker. Still not super satisfied with this pocket, and I'm not sure why. putting on finishing touches, friends. Yeah, it was just like 5 minutes ago that I closed the door. Because Josh got home 10 minutes ago. Alright. Blend these out a bit. Josh cheating on Micah for fancy pants. OMG confirmed. Ha! That's really funny. Just kidding. Yeah, I know. The nice thing about being in a committed relationship is that you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Let's see. This is darker still. Fancy pants as in Jordan. LOL, he's married too. He's a cool guy. I like him. Plus, I think he's still in Utah. So that would be quite the affair to have. To bring your gay lover up here. Yep, and he lives 700 plus miles away. JK, I was scrolling through the people you should love, haha. He's an old friend and a really good YouTuber, yep. Over 100k subs, yeah. They were actually going to do a series together for a while, but it fell through because of funding. Isn't that right? See, his nose actually could use some help here. Yeah, I'm the co-creator of a show on his channel, Clone Training Center. Yep. Yeah, Josh was actually gonna like have a hand, like he helped make the script, and like put together all the shot lists and everything. But he was gonna like be a more active participant now. But alas, the good people of Kickstarter spoke, and they did not want a awesome series to come out all at once. This also needs to be darker here. Hi, the Rat Sports. I'm glad you can make it. I switched to doing 1 stream on Thursdays rather than 3 streams a week on Monday, Thursday, and Wednesday and Friday evenings. My eventual goal is to stream for a lot longer, like 5 to 6 hours on Thursdays. But I've hit the little hitch of where I can't seem to draw for that long. And even today I was gonna be like, I'm gonna do that long of drawing and I'm gonna take a break if I have to. But then I just finished, you know, right now. For funds and laughs to sadness, Josh, can you post a tweet or something for my friend? He got something injected to him at the hospital. What do you want him to post? So yeah, and today was going to be the start of my, actually I'm going to do a 4-hour stream today or more, except I'm basically finished with this portrait now and it's only been 2 hours and 46 minutes, so I guess I still won't break that 3-hour barrier today, but I'm working on it, friends, I promise. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking to Shadows. I was in front of him and he says, when is Roan coming to visit? My name is Roan. Oh, that's too bad. Is it just the medication that's giving him trouble? There. That nose is a little better now. You could just be done and come hang out with me. Well, I have to finish the nose. I have to make it perfect. And then I have to, like, look at anything else that needs to be adjusted. Like this ear over here, for instance. It has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, then I don't really love you, Josh. The eyes look a lot better. We were best friends and he doesn't remember me. That's really tough, Shadows. I hope your friend gets better. He didn't remember himself or his own name. I'm sure it'll be okay, though. I mean, if he's at the hospital, then he's with the people that he needs to be with to help him through that. Does that make sense? Like, the doctors know what's going on, I'm sure. Alright. I think I basically just need to be satisfied. Just looking one more time. Maybe darker here. I am thinking of going a little darker with pencils, like, I wish it was me, not him. Understandably. Like, I have a 6B, that's my darkest pencil. It's also my shortest pencil because I use it the most often. But I was thinking of, like, going out and getting like an 8B or however much I can to get it darker. There we go. The shading, I pray for him every day to remember me. I'm sure it will be good. Shadows, I promise. As much as I can promise as a random YouTuber. The shading looks super good. Thank you, sweetie. Hi, Feroshi. Oh, hello, beautiful work. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're coming in right at the end. I'm just at that awkward lingering stage where I'm just looking at it vaguely for a really long time and then making really tiny adjustments. So hopefully you're into that kind of thing. Do you remember that the Josh Watson? He said, yeah, I think he said I've heard the name before. You nailed the tip of the nose. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. Right now I'm just feeling a little paranoid about the mouth. But I think it's okay. I just need to make it a little darker right here. There we go. That's a little better. And then a little bit down here. And this is a little darker. Blend this out. Alright, friends. I think it is about that time for me to go. I'm just gonna sign this. I always sign it like in the corner where it wouldn't actually be on the artwork if I were to tear it out. Possibly because reasons. And we're finished. As long as I don't look at it and find anything else that needs to be done, right? Thank you so much, everyone, though, for coming. I truly, truly appreciate it. You are the reason that my YouTube channel is working even a little bit. Even though I've gone from streaming 9 hours a week to streaming 3, as I'm trying to break that 3-hour barrier of artwork. But next week, it will be awesome. Just as a reminder, a final time to everyone, that there are donation leaderboards every month. So if you donate the most for this month, then next week, which is the first week of May, I'm going to be drawing a commission for whoever is the top at the leaderboard. Right now there's a tie. I'll probably just do like a coin toss or something, and figure out who gets the custom drawing. So if you were to donate like $5.01, you would be at the top of the donation leaderboard, and you would get a really cool commission, and I do mail it to people. So far, I've only done it once, and she was in the United States, so that might be something that I have to fiddle with, if like it's going to be $20 to mail it to Timbuktu or something. Then I might just have to email a really high quality scan, but we'll just see. Right now people are getting the originals. So yeah, so thank you everyone for showing up and hanging out. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I really appreciate your kind comments and your good attitude in the chat, and I'm so glad that you could come here and relax with me. Thank you VRTX Shadows and the Josh Watson and Mr. Bunny and Patsy Dunn and Feroshi and everyone else who stopped by and said hi and made me feel just so good about doing art on YouTube and definitely getting distracted for a second. There we go. No, wait. There we go. So I hope that you all have a lovely day, and thank you again. I will see you guys next time, next Thursday, and I promise we're going to break that 3-hour barrier, because eventually I just want to stream for like 6 hours at this time slot. Anyways, enough about me. Thank you again. here's the donation leaderboard. Anyone can get on it. I'm sorry to overemphasize it, but like I love drawing. And oh, hey Darklight, thank you. And I want to do this as a career, and part of that is making money on it. So sorry to emphasize it, but thank you and shout out to everyone. I appreciate you all. Just have a lovely day. Oh, and Mr. Bunny wants to know what you plan on doing next. I plan on doing the custom commission that the donation leaderboard is showing right now. Anyone can get a custom commission. Right now, the number to beat is $5. So if you donate like $5.01 or $6 or $10, you can get a commission like this artwork that I just drew, and it would be awesome. So again, bye friends. I promise not to get distracted as I'm about to hit the stop streaming button. I hope you all have a lovely day.